Have you ever wondered how someone with an average job, no fancy degree, and no winning lottery ticket can still end up a millionaire? In this video, I'll talk about the psychology of money as well as smart money tactics, narrated by Mongan Hazel. It all starts about a man named Ronald Red. He was a janitor. Nothing flashy. He swept floors, fixed shelves, and lived a simple, quiet life. When he passed away in 2014, the world was stunned to discover he had over $8 million in savings. No inheritance, no big business, just decades of smart money behavior and the magic of compound interest quietly working in the background. That story flips everything we think we know about money on its head. Because here's the truth. Building wealth isn't just about being brilliant or having insider knowledge. It's about how you behave with money, your discipline, your patience, and your mindset. Mongan Hazel, in The Psychology of Money, puts it perfectly. Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill, where how you behave is more important than what you know. So in today's video, we're diving into 5 powerful lessons from the psychology of money that could reshape the way you think about wealth and, most importantly, help you master the soft skill of investing. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. Pay the price. Imagine you're standing in a luxury watch store. You see the perfect timepiece, the one that'll turn heads, impress your friends, maybe even catch the attention of that special someone. Now you have 2 choices. Pull out your card, pay for it, and walk out like a responsible adult. Snatch the watch and make a run for it, hoping your cardio is good enough to escape security. Obviously, you're choosing option 1. You know that everything has a price. Nothing valuable comes for free. The same rule applies to investing. Everyone wants high returns in the stock market, but those returns come at a cost. And no, I'm not talking about fees or commissions. I'm talking about the emotional price of volatility. Let's say you build a concentrated portfolio, big positions in a few great companies. Historically, that's how some of the best investors like Peter Lynch have made their fortunes. But here's the catch. A focused portfolio is wildly volatile. Imagine waking up one morning, checking your portfolio, and seeing your net worth drop 20% in a single week just because 2 of your top stocks reported disappointing earnings. Could you handle that without panicking? Let's take Netflix as an example. If you had invested heavily in Netflix a decade ago, believing in its future, you'd be incredibly wealthy today. But here's the question. Would you have held on in Netflix in 2011 when it was losing customers left and right, and the stock price crashed 80% from its peak? Imagine logging into your account and seeing your investment portfolio gutted. What would you tell your spouse? Your kids? Could you look them and say, "Hey, don't worry, this is just part of the plan"? Or would you start second-guessing yourself, wondering if you'd just thrown your family's future away? That's an extreme example, sure. But every investor, no exceptions, will face volatility. Most people wouldn't have the patience or emotional strength to hold through it. The difference between those who build wealth and those who don't, some are willing to pay the price. Lesson 2. Never enough. Imagine this. You just got a $2 million bonus at work. Life is good. You feel on top of the world. Until you find out that the guy in the office next to you got $2 million and $1, just $1 more than you. Suddenly, your excitement turns into frustration. That massive paycheck that made you feel rich, now it feels like a loss. That's the strange thing about money. It's never just about the number. It's about how that number compares to someone else's. Capitalism is amazing at doing 2 things: generating wealth, generating envy. The desire to out-earn your peers can push you to work harder, dream bigger, and achieve incredible things. But there's a dark side. Social comparison can also make you feel like you're never enough, no matter how much money you have. Let's break it down with a story. Meet Bill. Bill is a highly specialized doctor earning $500,000 a year. That puts him in the top 1% of income earners in the U.S. By almost any standard, Bill is rich. He drives nice cars, vacations in exotic places, and can afford to outsource any chore he finds boring. Life is great. Or, at least, it was until he bought a vacation home in the Hamptons. That's when he met his new neighbor, Stan. Stan isn't just in the top 1%. He's in the top 1% of the 1%. He's a CEO of a major public company, earning $10 million per year. Now, Bill, who once fell on top of the world, suddenly feels like he's just getting by. But wait, it gets worse. Because Stan, even he isn't satisfied because he happens to be childhood friends with Michael Jordan. And Michael? He isn't just rich. He's worth over $2 billion. Now Stan's $10 million salary, the same one that made Bill feel small, suddenly feels like pocket change compared to Michael's fortune. And that's the problem. There's always another level. Always someone wealthier. Always someone making you feel like you're behind. And just when you think the comparison game ends, it doesn't. See what's happening here? There's always a bigger fish. And this endless chase, this relentless ladder of comparison, has pushed many people to do some incredibly foolish things. When is enough? At some point, you have to draw a line. You have to say, I won't trade what I already have and truly need for something I don't have and don't really need, even if I kind of want it. That mindset, that's what protects your peace. Because without it, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. Lesson 3. The madness is in the viewer. Ever looked at how someone spends their money and thought, that's just crazy? Maybe it's the guy blowing thousands on luxury sneakers. Or the person hoarding cash under their mattress like it's the 1930s. From the outside, it's easy to judge. But here's the truth. Crazy is relative. What seems irrational to you might be totally logical to someone else, based on where they come from, what they've lived through, and how they view the world. We all have different money stories, different childhoods, different parents, different fears, different dreams. Morgan Housel puts it into perspective beautifully with a simple example: lottery tickets. In the U.S., the lowest income households spend over $400 a year on lottery tickets. That's 4 times more than what the highest income households spend. Now pause for a second, because here's the kicker. More than a third of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense. So, are people spending their emergency savings on lottery tickets? At first glance, it feels insane. But let's zoom in a bit. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if saving feels impossible, if college for your kids seems like a mountain you'll never climb, if you've never had the chance to take a real vacation or upgrade your car or just breathe financially, then maybe buying a lottery ticket isn't just a gamble. To you, that may seem irrational, but to them, it might be the most hopeful dollar they'll spend all week. When you understand that people operate from different perspectives, you stop trying to copy what everyone else is doing. You realize just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right for you. Let's say you're just starting to build wealth. Your risk tolerance might be higher than a billionaire's because they're focused on staying rich while you're still in the phase of getting rich. If you copy their portfolio, built for stability, not growth, it might totally backfire. It's like borrowing someone else's prescription glasses and wondering why you can't see straight. So stop judging, stop copying, and you start owning your path. Because the truth is, the path to financial success isn't one size fits all. It's personal. It's unique. And the better you understand that, the better investor you become. And now we move on to the last 2. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. Let's keep going. Lesson 4. Peekaboo. What do the Great Depression, World War II, the 2008 financial crisis, and COVID-19 all have in common? They were all massive, world-shaking events, and almost nobody saw them coming. These events changed societies, devastated markets, and sent shockwaves through generations. And yet, each one took the world by surprise. Author Nassim Taleb calls these events black swans, and not the elegant ballet kind. In his definition, a black swan has 3 key traits. It's an outlier, something so rare, there's nothing in the past that clearly hints it could happen. It has an extreme impact, economically, socially, psychologically. And here's the kicker. It becomes obvious in hindsight. Suddenly, everyone's an expert after the fact. Oh, the signs were there. We should have seen this coming. But the truth is we rarely do, because that's how uncertainty works. Now picture this. It's Black Monday, 1987. The stock market drops almost 25% in a single day. And now, are you shouting sell while staring at a sea of red? Or are you calm enough to hold on? Maybe even double down with the extra cash you've been saving for moments like this? Here's a stat that'll really land. If you had invested in the S&P 500 over the last 20 years but missed just the 4 best performing days, your return would drop from 291% to just 164%. For days. That's the cost of trying to time the market in moments of chaos. So what's the real takeaway? It's not about predicting the next disaster. It's about being mentally and financially prepared before it hits. Because the events that shake the world won't announce themselves ahead of time. They won't fit into your spreadsheet. And no macro forecast, no analyst, no headline will give you a guaranteed warning. Instead of trying to outguess the future, build a strategy that can survive it. Stay diversified. Hold some cash. Keep your emotions in check. And accept the truth. Surprises are part of the game. Lesson 5. The seduction of pessimism. If I told you the market was going to crash later this year and backed it up with scary headlines like ballooning U.S. debt, runaway inflation from stimulus checks, and a brand new strain of COVID-19, chances are I'd have your full attention. Your gut might even tighten. Oh, should I sell everything? Imagine I told you the opposite, that the world is steadily improving. Life expectancy is going up. Renewable energy is becoming cheaper. Computing power is growing exponentially. Would you lean in? Or would you just shrug? That's the strange psychology of it. Pessimism sounds smart. Optimism sounds soft. And why? Behavioral psychologist and Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman breaks it down brilliantly in his book Thinking, Fast and Slow. He says that our brains are wired to pay more attention to threats than to opportunities. And it makes sense. If your ancestors were out hunting and they underestimated a tiger, that was the end of the story. But missing out on a ripe mango, you'd live to hunt again. As Kahneman puts it, when directly compared, losses loom larger than gains. We're hardwired for survival, not prosperity, which means we lean in when someone says this is going to end badly, but tune out when someone says this is slowly getting better. As Hans Rosling, the Swedish public health expert, would say, the world is better than you think, but it's easy to forget that. Progress rarely happens overnight, but setbacks? They hit like a freight train. And remember, envy is the worst of the 7 deadly sins. Never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't truly need. You'll also learn that different perspectives lead to different decisions. What's rational for one person might look completely irrational to another. Investing is a personal journey. Your path isn't the same as anyone else's. Instead of trying to foresee the next crisis or black swan event, prepare yourself, mentally and financially, because life will throw punches, but if you're ready for them, you'll come out stronger. And finally, be cautious when taking investment advice. Understand that pessimism appeals more to your survival instincts. It feels safer, but optimism is what builds wealth. So always ask yourself, is the story being told about a disaster, or is it a long-term vision for growth? With that said, trust me, there's a lot more wisdom where that came from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. If you haven't read it yet, do yourself a favor and pick it up. It's a game changer. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to keep learning about how human psychology influences your money decisions, I've got just a video for you coming up next. See you in the next video. Take care.